Intro music begins and fades into the background. Hello, story lovers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into a vibrant forest to uncover a timeless lesson, a story that teaches us about the immense power held not in our words, but in our silence. Get comfortable, and let us journey together into the tale of the parrot who wouldn't stop talking. Once upon a time, nestled in the heart of a lush, sun-drenched forest, lived a parrot named Mbolo. Now, Mbolo wasn't just any parrot. His feathers shimmered with the brilliant green of new-growth leaves after a spring rain, and his beak was the color of a perfect sunset. He was, by all accounts, a magnificent creature. But his beauty was matched and perhaps overshadowed by his voice. It was a voice that could carry over the rustling leaves, louder than the village drum calling everyone to a celebration. The forest creatures and the villagers nearby all admired Mbolo's striking appearance. They'd stop and gaze at him as he preened his emerald feathers. But there was a catch, a rather significant one. Mbolo simply could not stop talking. It was as if a tiny, unstoppable river of words flowed from his beak from the moment the sun peeked over the horizon until long after the moon cast its silvery glow upon the land. He chattered in the morning, gossiped in the afternoon, and squawked his observations into the night. Mbolo was a living, breathing echo of the forest. He repeated everything he heard, without filter or thought. If the chief shared a secret with his wife in the quiet of their hut, Mbolo would soon be shouting it from the highest baobab tree. If a hunter whispered his plans to track a rare gazelle, Mbolo would announce the route to the entire savannah. He even mimicked the hushed gossip of the market women, turning private whispers into public broadcasts. The villagers initially found it amusing, a quirky feature of their beautiful forest resident. "Oh, that's just Mbolo," they'd say with a chuckle. But slowly, the amusement began to curdle into annoyance, and annoyance into genuine concern. One fateful afternoon, the village chief gathered his most trusted warriors under the shade of the ancient mango tree. The air was thick with tension. A rival tribe had been encroaching on their lands, and a confrontation seemed inevitable. The chief, in a low, serious voice, revealed a secret, winding path through the dense undergrowth that would allow his warriors to circle around and surprise their enemies, giving them a crucial advantage. He stressed the importance of secrecy. "Not a word of this to anyone," he commanded. "Our victory and our very lives depend on it." Of course, perched silently in the branches above, hidden by the thick leaves, was Mbolo. He listened, his head cocked, absorbing every single word. Did he understand the weight of what was being said? The gravity of the situation? Not at all. To Mbolo, these were just new, exciting sounds to add to his collection. The moment the meeting ended, he took to the skies, his powerful wings beating against the air. He soared over the village, over the fields, and towards the edge of the forest, and what did he do? He began to shout, his voice echoing through the canyons. "There's a secret path! There's a secret path!" A surprise for the enemies. He repeated it over and over, proud of his new phrase. His loud, clear calls traveled much farther than he could have imagined. They reached the ears of the enemy scouts who were hidden, listening. Their eyes widened. A secret path, a surprise. The element of surprise was now theirs. They quickly relayed the information, and that evening, they set up an ambush along that very same secret path. When the chief's warriors advanced under the cover of darkness, expecting to catch their rivals off guard, they walked directly into a devastating trap. The plan had backfired, all because of a bird who couldn't keep a secret. The next morning, a heavy, unnatural silence fell over the forest and the village. The usual morning chorus of birds was muted. The cheerful chatter of the villagers was gone, replaced by somber, downcast faces. The warriors had returned, not in victory, but in defeat and sorrow, and everyone knew why. All eyes, filled with disappointment and anger, turned towards Mbolo, but for the first time, no one spoke to him. No one even looked at him. The children who used to bring him fruits now turned their backs. The wind itself seemed to change its course, refusing to rustle the leaves of his tree. Mbolo felt the cold wave of isolation wash over him. He tried to talk, to sing his usual songs, but the only response was a profound, echoing silence. He didn't understand. He was just repeating what he heard. Why was everyone so sad? Why was no one his friend anymore? The loneliness was a heavier burden than he had ever known. Just as despair began to set in, a slow, deliberate rustling came from the base of his tree. It was the wise old tortoise, the oldest and most respected creature in the forest. The tortoise looked up at the miserable parrot with ancient, knowing eyes. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He simply spoke, his voice calm and steady. "Mbolo," he said, "your voice is a gift. But you must learn that words are like arrows. Once they leave your mouth, you can never call them back. They fly onward, and you cannot control where they land or what they strike." The tortoise paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. Not every truth you hear must be spoken. Sometimes the greatest wisdom and the greatest kindness lie in silence. A profound sense of shame washed over Mbolo. He finally understood. His endless talking wasn't just noise. It had consequences, real painful consequences. His words, which he had treated so lightly, had been weapons. He had hurt the people he lived among, the very community that had, until now, tolerated his flaw. From that day forward, something inside Mbolo shifted. The unstoppable river of words inside him slowed to a gentle stream, and then to a calm, reflective pool. He learned to listen. He listened to the whisper of the wind, the song of the crickets, the worries in the chief's voice. And he learned to hold his tongue. He began to speak only when it truly mattered. He would warn of a coming storm or guide a lost child back to the village with a few carefully chosen words. His voice, still as beautiful and clear as ever, was no longer a source of chaos and trouble. Instead, it became a symbol of peace, a sound of comfort. The forest and the village learned to trust Mbolo again, not for his constant chatter, but for his thoughtful, meaningful silence. And in that silence, Mbolo found a new kind of beauty, a deeper connection to the world around him. He learned that the most valuable thing he could offer wasn't always his voice, but his discretion and his quiet understanding. The story of Mbolo serves as a powerful reminder for all of us. In a world that is so loud, where everyone is vying to be heard, there is incredible strength and value in knowing when to be silent. It's about listening more than we speak and understanding that our words have the power to build or to break. Thank you so much for joining me for this story today. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more tales that teach and inspire. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What did Mbolo's journey teach you? Until next time, speak kindly and listen deeply.